famous one is the All-American Breakfast. Edward Benet launched the breakfast campaign because the meat industry came to him and said, dude, we're slacking on meat sales. What can we do?
Telling kids to leave home at 18 is one of the most successful psyops of modern life.
You ever get that weird feeling that your choices aren't really your choices? The food you eat, the layout of stores, the lighting, none of it's random. Every detail is carefully planned to make you spend more, stay less, and come back again. You walk into a grocery store and suddenly you're craving snacks you never planned on buying in the first place. You think you're choosing freely, but everything has been designed to steer you like a mouse in a maze with just one exit. Even restaurants and coffee shops, they're in on it too. They use something called hostile architecture, which is to make you eat faster and leave sooner. Uncomfortable chairs, harsh lighting, no outlets, all so the next customer can take your place. And it doesn't just stop there. Even breakfast, yeah, the most important meal of the day, that was actually a marketing campaign created to sell more bacon and more cereal. So no, you're not crazy for feeling like something's off, because the truth is you're not actually the customer anymore. You're the product. So let's talk about how companies are brainwashing you and how deep this manipulation really goes. And if you guys have noticed this too, or want to tell me your thoughts, then definitely make sure to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, let's get right into today's episode. Can we just watch that one more time, please? That is actually hysterical, and why I haven't been working at coffee shops recently, because it is fairly uncomfortable. And I didn't even think about it, honestly. It's called hostile or hostile architecture. I guess tomato, it doesn't matter. It means the same thing. But as you guys can see, what this is just look at how uncomfortable his seating position is. And we'll explain the silent deceptive manipulation behind it in a second. But notice a completely 90-degree angle seating position here. That's rock hard on a piece of wood. No cushion, nothing. And the desk is also extremely low, so he's got to hunch over. And I'm also not noticing any outlets or anything like that, which definitely kind of drains the amount of time you would be there. Now, we don't think about this as deep as these people do. And that's the big takeaway from today's video, is that you aren't in as much control of your life than you realize here. Most people that would go to a coffee shop to work wouldn't even realize that they are being manipulated to leave after 30 minutes. Maybe even less, because I promise you that bench company has done studies to see when the point of it becoming uncomfortable is 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and that's what they sell to these coffee shops. Because guess what? If you're taking up a table like that and you're using an outlet, you could be sitting there for hours only buying, one coffee, 2 coffees max. Well, if they make it as uncomfortable as possible, guess what? You're going to leave after 20 minutes. And guess what? That means new customer, new business, and it keeps a revolving door of new clientele and new customers. So it's interesting because in your mind, you might be thinking, my back's hurting, I'm going to leave. And you don't even realize it was all planned out for you to feel that. That's how deep we're going to be going into today's episode. Now, I wanted to read a couple of the comments that people had left on that previous TikTok. Hostile architecture. They don't actually want you to stay. I swear they do this on purpose to keep people from trying to work in there. Exactly. They don't want you to work in there. Why? Because they lose more revenue and more business the longer you stay in that seat. This is unlike maybe in Europe or other places where you're actually encouraged to hang out and stay for a long time at restaurants. In the US, it's all about profit. And in order to do that, it's to get you out as fast as possible. Have you ever sat down at a restaurant and once you're done finishing your plate, they're already over there trying to take it from you? You might not even be finished with your food. And then boom, you're slapped with the bill immediately. There's no time to think. They're trying to get you out as fast as possible.
Use the mess. I'm still building this closet a month later, but Chase?
POV, Chase sends you a $25 air tag to compensate for the $250 fee increase.
I mean, this I got a whole ear tag, and you know why they doing this bullshit? They about to raise the annual fee like $200 more than it already is.
Of course.
But I mean, this kind of cute. I'm still gonna cancel the card, but okay. Never got nothing from Chase.
Now, before we go any further, I want to give a huge thanks to Live It Up for sponsoring today's episode. As you guys should hopefully know by now, I like to add positive habits to my daily routine. And one of the easiest wins I've added into my daily routine recently is Live It Up Super Greens. I'll be honest, some days I don't eat any of my vegetables and I end up going to bed feeling a bit guilty. Either I come up with some excuse why I don't eat them, I'm too full, I forget, whatever it is. Now, these Live It Up Super Greens are by no means a replacement for real food. Real fruits and vegetables are always better, but taking this every day, in my opinion, makes a huge difference, especially if you just are gonna flat out refuse to eat any of your vegetables, which I know so many of you do. Since adding them to my daily routine, I feel healthier, more energized, and just ready to tackle the day, which honestly helps me keep making content for you guys. It's super easy. Just one scoop. I mix it in water when I get back from the gym. It's quick, it tastes good, and it's one of those small wins that kind of set the tone for the rest of my day. Live It Up is designed by dietitians, made with 20 plus superfoods and organic vegetables, and it's sugar-free, caffeine-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and even nut-free. They say it supports digestion, gut health, and even promotes natural energy. I try to think of my daily habits as preventative maintenance for my body. So, for example, the same way I always say to you guys that you should do preventative maintenance for your car, I do the same thing for myself.
First one of the day. Actually, second one since I went to the gym.
So if you guys want to start stacking better habits like I do, check out Live It Up Super Greens. You'll get 15% off your first order, free shipping, and a 30-day money-back guarantee if you don't like the product. Use my code Hayden15 or scan the QR code on the screen, or check out the links down in the description below. Big thanks again to Live It Up for sponsoring today's episode, and let's get back to the insanity. Loyalty is important, so I'd like to personally thank you for choosing Chase Sapphire Reserve. We hope that this Apple AirTag and limited edition luggage ID designed by New York City-based artist Eugenia Mello will make your next trip even better. Next time you're at LaGuardia, check out our award-winning airport lounge your Sapphire Reserve card gives you access to. Interesting. I like how they really emphasize your loyalty is important to us. Here's this $20 AirTag. By the way, in a couple of months, you're going to be hit with a $250 increase that would cover like 6 AirTags. But we're not going to address that yet. Your loyalty is important to us. So I wanted to read a couple of comments that you guys had left on previous episodes on the channel. This one's from Why You Can't Afford Anything in 2025. If you haven't seen that video, highly recommend you check it out. And if you want to get featured in the next episode, definitely make sure to drop a comment down below. We budget. Don't use credit cards, don't have new fancy expensive cars, only one subscription, and we live in a small town in Iowa. Location has a lot to do with it as well. That's definitely true. We choose a simple and quiet lifestyle and are content with not always having to be on social media, newest or everything, because we know they're junk and it's marketing, and because we have decided we don't want to work that freaking hard. So we choose simple, quiet, and a boring lifestyle at our home and in our neighborhood where the kids run from yard to yard with each other. And while it may be boring, I love it. People hate billionaires because billionaires equals Bezos, Trump, Elon, but they idolize Taylor Swift, who was also a billionaire, and buy the 24 different colored albums and go broke paying for her concert tickets without thinking or being mad about that. Wow. I didn't even put those pieces together. Yes, it's all selective. It is selective to who we dislike and like. It's hysterical. And this was about our billionaire debate in the previous episode. Also, some of you guys were leaving comments that you didn't realize you weren't subscribed to the channel and you thought you were. So just take a second to check and make sure that you are actually subscribed to the channel. Subscribing to the channel is completely free. It doesn't cost a dime. All it does is let me know that you guys like to see videos like this and that I should keep creating more videos like this. And we are so close to hitting hitting 100,000 subscribers. And the quicker we get there, the quicker I can do a very large giveaway for several hundreds of dollars. I think it's going to be just a great way to give back to you guys. So just do me a favor and give it a quick tap down below. Anywho, what I wanted to talk about is credit card companies and the deceptive marketing that goes on behind them. What most people probably don't realize is credit card companies make most of their money from the merchant, from charging the merchant a 3% fee, which we are just now starting to see. What I mean by that is some of these merchants, some of these stores you go to, restaurants, are getting fed up having to pay the credit card company 3% of every single transaction that goes through them. So they are putting that on you, the consumer, which is very irritating if you ask me, to pay an additional 3% on it. That used to be something that only the merchant would have to pay. Now, that's how these credit card companies make most of their money. It's not from annual fees. It's not from, you forgetting to make a payment, paying the minimum and the interest that they accrue, because they eventually sell all that interest for pennies on the dollar to whoever wants to pick it up and come after you, whatever debt collector they go after. So that's where most of the money is. So if the credit card company's main goal is to charge the merchant 3%, they have to figure out a way to brainwash you to spend more. Well, how do they do that? With consumerism, with showing that, oh, it's the most important thing, with, oh, this is safe. Use it as a safety precaution. Always, for every transaction. They don't tell you that the reason they're doing that is because they have an ulterior motive, which is to get you to spend more money on the card. And they incentivize it. Here's 1% cash back. Here's 3. They don't even do percent now. It's like, here's 3x points. Here's 2x points, 4x points. And the points are not even worth a penny. They'll dangle a carrot in front of you. Ooh, 2x points on gas, on restaurants, blah, 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 blah. That's only to get you to spend your money.
Shoppers typically encounter when they walk into a grocery store is what's called front of shop, in which you'd find the produce section as well as the flower section. This isn't mere coincidence, it's by universal design. A store's produce section plays a large role in how much consumers will spend. Not only that, grocery stores use very specific directional lights aimed at fruits and vegetables to make their colors pop. Now, once your visual appetite is satisfied, stores have to make sure you don't just pick some fruits and bounce. They need you to walk by as many items as possible. This is when the traffic builder method comes into play. Ever wondered why milk and bread are always way at the back of the store? This tactic is designed to increase the likelihood of impulse purchases along the way. Since milk is a staple item, putting it at the back ensures that shoppers will pass by various other products, which means more impulse buys. That's also why some of the best deals are typically way at the back. Now, once they get you in the central section of the store, this is when they make the real money off of you. At the beginning of the video, I told you grocery stores are in the real estate business. This is what I mean. 50 to 75% of grocery stores' profit is from slotting fees. Food companies and brands spend a tremendous amount of money to place their products at a certain location inside stores. One product could spend between
So hopefully I didn't lose you there, but getting back into the deceptive marketing that goes on within these grocery stores and how they brainwash you. Now, it's common at nearly every single supermarket you go to. And there's a couple of things I want to add to this. And let me know down in the comments section below if you've ever noticed this stuff too. Have you ever noticed that at Walmart and ShopRite and Whole Foods, pretty much any grocery store that you go to, every now and then they constantly move the shelves around. They constantly change the aisles on you. So yeah, you might have grown a habit and memorized pretty much where maybe the bread aisle is or where the beans or rice is. But every couple of months they change it. Why? So you don't remember. And now you have to go walk through more and more aisles. And guess what? They know, because they've done studies on this, that the more aisles you walk through, the higher the chance of you adding something else to your shopping cart and paying more when you leave the store. One of my strategies is grocery shopping online. This is a good idea. I search only for what I need, so that's all I see as I order. And I don't have to step foot in the store. It saved me so much money that it would have been random spending had I have gone in the store. Temptations and such. Bingo. Online shopping, as well as not going to the store hungry, can save you hundreds of dollars. I have money and I'm doing very well financially, but I still don't buy shit and find many ways to have fun for free, cheap. I also only buy grocery items when they are on sale at an incredible price unless I am extremely desperate in needing the item, and even at that, I only get one to two in quantity. I literally check the grocery store ads paper, prices, do math calculations, etc. to make sure I'm not getting ripped off on stuff. While I do agree that grocery items are at a ridiculous price, people need to just wait for a sale and then buy them then. I feel like most Americans are just picking stuff off aisles they like, no matter what the price is. Like, please, get it together, people. Exactly. I almost guarantee you that's what 95% of people do. The overwhelming majority are getting suckered into the temptations. If you're not shopping at Aldi's and you're not looking at discounts and you're not buying in bulk, you're going to spend a lot more money than had you have kind of implemented these strategies. They have a strategy. Why not you?
3 meals a day, please. That's not nature. That's Rockefeller marketing. Our ancestors didn't sit around with breakfast, lunch, and dinner neatly served. They ate once a day, sometimes 3 times a week. That was abundance. And you know what? They thrived. They were lean, sharp, and strong because the body is designed to function best in fasting. You ever wonder why you heal in your sleep? Because you're fasting. The body finally gets to stop wasting energy digesting junk and starts repairing, rebuilding, cleaning house. That's when the real work gets done. But you've been programmed. You think skipping breakfast is a crime. You think hunger is an emergency. No, it's power. Fasting activates cells that act like little soldiers. They march straight to the damage, clean it out, rebuild you stronger. That's real medicine. And yet the white coat will tell you to eat regularly. Why? Because the system isn't built for your health, it's built for your dependence. Rockefeller didn't give you 3 meals to nourish you. He gave you 3 meals to chain you, to keep you tired, inflamed, obedient.
I agree with so much of what she said. I actually had to watch the video like 2 or 3 times to realize that the entire thing was AI. Like, if you don't believe me, go back and rewatch the video, and this time, look at her eyes, look at her hands, and look at her face. Everything is fidgeting. It's not normal behavior. Oh, I bet I fooled 3/4 of you and probably every single boomer. It took me quite a few times to rewatch this to realize what is actually going on. But not to get off subject here, it's still true. I still totally believe that the whole 3 meals a day thing is crock. It's made to benefit the food industry, the pharmaceutical industry, whatever it is. It was not created in our benefit. It was created in other people's benefit.
Telling kids to leave home at 18 is one of the most successful psyops of modern life, pushed by central banks so that every family member can pay their own car, furniture, utilities, mortgage, and just like that, 10 people are plugged into the system. Add in student debt and you're drowning before you've even started life. But here's what they don't want you to know. Families that stay together can build businesses, share costs, and grow generational wealth. And when the family unit breaks, each generation starts from zero financially, emotionally, and spiritually. That's not freedom. It's a setup and it's by design. In most cultures, living at home until marriage is considered normal, but Western hyper-individualism tells us that it's weak to stay connected. Intergenerational living can certainly have its challenges, but it's a way of creating the village that so many of us are yearning for. There is medicine in the triggers and so many lessons in healthy communication, good attachment, and problem solving as a team.
Yeah, that is quite the psyop, and we were talking about this in the previous episode, how, the elitists back in the 70s and 80s had created a push for consumerism, and one way to doing that was breaking up multi-generational homes that all over the rest of the world, for the most part, still lives with their parents, other than more westernized cultures here. And the reason being is because if they can spread you out, that means there's more room for consumerism. Now, each person needs a toaster. Each person needs a fridge. Each person needs a car. All these things that create an endless supply of more stuff, instead of pooling their money together, buying one big house, having 1 or 2 cars, living together. It's much more powerful that way. They've disrupted it and spread it. I mean, I've noticed lots of cultures here, lots of Spanish families, lots of Indian families. They still live with their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents. And they're able to pool their money and things do become significantly cheaper and they can live a much more fulfilling life in regards to financial stability. Sometimes. Obviously, there's always exceptions to every rule. Haven't commented on a video before, but this was an insightful video. As someone who grew up in the 70s and 80s, I definitely look back and see the shift to consumerism. And even as a frugal person, it can be hard not to get caught up in it. That being said, one can definitely reduce spending on food, custodial supplies, and frivolous items. But when you never get a raise and only a COL, a cost of living, so-called increase, your OOP insurance costs keep going up and state, school, county taxes increase by 150% in addition to groceries, all the penny pinching in the world won't solve those issues. It's hard out there and getting harder. Hang in there, y'all. And that's why I don't just teach reducing your expenses. I also talk about, growing your income. But the main point is no matter how much income you get, if you have a hole in your pocket and, money keeps spilling out, no matter how much money you have, you're never going to get ahead. So we have to start with problem one, which is the massive consumerism and spending culture that we have, reducing your expenses, living below your means. Then we have to figure out better. That's step two, increasing our income. That's how we can get financially free faster.
A famous one is the all-American breakfast. You get your eggs, you get your bacon, you get your sausages, you get your orange juice, you get your milk. But 100 years ago, that wasn't breakfast.
That wasn't the American breakfast.
A breakfast wasn't a thing. Edward Benet, known as the father of propaganda, launched the breakfast campaign because the meat industry came to him and said, dude, we're slacking on meat sales. What can we do? So he's like, it's too hard to convince the average person. I need to go to the people that are already sources of authority. So what did he go and do? He went and convinced who? The doctors, the pediatricians, that breakfast was the most essential diet. With all these studies and all these experiments and all this bullshit, it was all paid propaganda. So Edward Benet launches the breakfast propaganda campaign and turns breakfast into a rousing success. He did it as well with cigarettes.
And what's crazy is the people that own or used to own cigarettes now currently own a huge portion of the breakfast industry, like the cereal and a lot of the foods that we eat today. And they are implementing lots of strategies that they took for getting people hooked on cigarettes, and they're applying it to the breakfast foods that you eat. Pop-Tarts, cereal, French toast, waffles, the cookie crunch cereal. We're eating cookies for breakfast. Are you kidding me? Of course, that's not good for you. But they, put all these colors and, we got extra fiber and vitamins, blah, blah, blah. And they convince you that it's healthy. You guys need to understand, breakfast in theory means to break fast. There's no set time to do so. You have trained your body to get hungry at certain times because society has told you to eat once you wake up, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In theory, you're just supposed to eat when you're hungry. Breaking fast can be 12 o'clock, can be 2 o'clock, can be 1 o'clock, can be, 11 o'clock. It depends. I don't really eat until noon, lunchtime.
Okay, y'all look, it's $33 because she put her American Express.
$20.
They scamming.
I don't know if that is deceptive marketing or they just straight scamming people out there. The T, because American Express Platinum card members get $15 a month back in Uber credits. Interesting. They're advertising it as a benefit when in turn they're just upcharging to make up for the loss in credit. LOL. What a scam. Class action lawsuit loading. They charge people what they think they will pay. Certain times, locations, battery percent, wow, and ride history all affect the price. It's so corrupt. Yeah, they pretty much tailor it all to the consumer, and they are collecting as much data as they can so they can figure out how to charge you. However, how does that make sense when all she did was change her card and the price dropped $13?
People are wondering what's happened to the food, why it's so expensive. Here it is on the side of the road.
What?
3 oranges.
I am so confused. They're just dumping food on the side of the road? You guys aren't ready to hear about the cheese caves. There's never been a scarcity issue. It's capitalism. They only plant male trees in public places, so there's no free food. They make us pay for the water the floating rock already provides us. It's maddening. The government will pay the farmers to throw out the food. If you don't believe me, go talk to the farmers. What is going on? That's actually insane that they're just dumping it. For what? I originally thought they were going to come collect it, but that doesn't make sense to just dump it on the side of the road. Oh, what a deal. You can even see the date on it. 4/1/25, then 8/11/25. So in 4 months, which is not a long time, the price has gone up and then went on clearance. So that's not really inflation. That's straight scamming.
Let's try out ShopRite's new cart. Enter loyalty information.
Of course.
Give step-by-step directions for first-timers. You can clip all your coupons right on the screen. When you place item in cart, the sensors scan barcode. If there is a coupon for the product, it will pop up for you to clip.
Do you guys
Your
not see?
total will add up while you shop and be visible for you to see the whole time. For meat, you scan the barcode, and for produce, you type in the product and the cart will weigh it for you. If you change your mind on an item, the sensors will know when you remove it and automatically delete it from your total. When you're done, click Checkout. It will tell you to go to the checkout area in the store. When you arrive at checkout, the cart knows and will begin to process your order. Scan the barcode and link your card to your account or pay on the self-checkout machine. I love it.
Very interesting. But do you guys not see what's really going on? Up front, it's like, oh, we can help the elderly find things in the aisles, or if you're not from there. Or, oh, look, it's a great way to, save even more money because we're going to show you what's on sale. But behind all the butterflies and rainbows, what's really going on here is they are collecting a ton of data on how you shop and how your brain is wired. And they're going to find any which way to get you to put more stuff in that cart. They're going to figure out why you took certain things out. They have it linked to you personally so they can build up a data log of how you specifically shop. What you guys got to realize is when something is too good to be true or it's free, that's because they're not selling you the product. You are the product.
So this, by the way, is all because of Wall Street. This is all because of the stock market, because of investors, private equity, and the demand to get more value to shareholders. This has nothing to do with wokeness or DEI, you stupid sleeping babies. Okay? Let me explain this to you. McDonald's, the way McDonald's is structured is McDonald's owns the land underneath this building. They own the land. They're the biggest landholders in the United States when it comes to commercial properties. The franchisees then rent the building on top of them. And you know what happens? Sometimes McDonald's go out of business. And when McDonald's goes out of business, they want to put a different business in there and they want to sell the land underneath it. Well, guess what? When you have a building that can only be a McDonald's or can only be a Pizza Hut or can only be a Cracker Barrel, or only be a Taco Bell, guess what? It's harder to sell those businesses. So every business has slowly been turning into a gray or beige box because you know what happens when you put a vape store inside of an old Pizza Hut? We all call it, oh, the vape store inside of the old Pizza Hut.
I'm crying.
Now, in the future, they'll just pull the Pizza Hut sign off and you'll go, I think that might have used to be a Starbucks. I don't remember. I don't know. But all the buildings used to look like this. It's also easier to do upkeep on it. They all have the same dumb awning with these weird little latches attached to them. They don't have to have the special McDonald's only custom ordered roof or the special Pizza Hut red shingle or making sure that they have to do this special lighting underneath Cracker Barrel or whatever was going on with Taco Bell back in the day. They're all buying from the same company. They're all using the same parts. That brings down their cost. They're not building play places anymore. It's not because of wokeness. It's not because, oh, gay people, no. It's because insurance for a play place costs more than just having a fucking McDonald's. Because the purpose of all of these buildings is to just pay off the property taxes while the land underneath it gets more and more expensive. So eventually you can sell it to somebody. Like in the case of Cracker Barrel, maybe the fact that they have land that's connected to the edge of every single highway exit by mid-tier cities all across the United States, maybe that'll be a good play for somebody who wants to put up electric vehicle supercharge stations. Oh, look how they're all convenient right here off the highway, and we have robots that can serve everybody $12 hot dogs. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
And to add on to that, have you ever noticed how like McDonald's, which used to be about selling burgers, is now becoming like McCafe? We're starting to see them sell lots more products because they were kind of boxing themselves into a certain category. And when they take away that specific name, well, they can now sell a lot more products and make a lot more money. Look at Dunkin' Donuts. They used to just sell, for the most part, donuts and coffee. Now it's just Dunkin'. Why? So they can sell a lot more stuff. Yeah, he's got a good point with these rebrands and the way they are changing the way these restaurants look. And that's definitely because these massive corporations are thinking, hey, maybe this McDonald's isn't going to do well. We own the land below it here. If we just, if we decide to sell it or go out of business, it's going to be much harder for any other store to go into it because it looks like a McDonald's. It's going to have to get knocked down. Or we just make it look like bland, and pretty much anyone can slap a logo on it and you're not going to realize what it was before them. So again, genius strategy, but there's a lot more going on here. The great corporate fairies from Fairly Odd Parents. Rip Wendy's sunroom. Bingo. Spirit Halloween. We'll take any old building. I mean, that's for these stores to just plop in. I bet you McDonald's and these other companies don't even sell the land. They're just going to rent the building space out and become the landlords to whoever decides to move into it. Capitalism kills creativity. That's debatable. I think late stage capitalism does, but capitalism within itself, I think, promotes creativity over other economical systems. So guys, that's going to be it for today's episode. Once again, huge shout out to Live It Up for sponsoring today's episode. Definitely make sure to check them out down in the description below. And if you haven't already seen my video on how life in 2025 is unaffordable, then definitely make sure to check it out right after this. Peace.